The bright lights of Earth's first faster-than-light ship, the Star Voyager *, reflected off the massive space station's metallic surface. Inside the ship's command deck, Ambassador James Miller adjusted his formal uniform one last time. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had finally made contact with advanced alien civilizations, and today they would join the Galactic Council. "Docking procedure complete," announced Captain Lisa Brown, her experienced hand steady on the controls. "We're ready for the diplomatic team to disembark." Miller nodded, his gray hair catching the soft blue light from the ship's displays. "Remember, everyone, we represent all of humanity today. Let's make Earth proud." The diplomatic team walked through the gleaming corridors of the Galactic Council station. Alien architecture surrounded them, beautiful and strange, with sweeping curves and materials that seemed to glow from within. Representatives from a dozen alien species watched them pass, some with multiple eyes, others with iridescent scales, all wearing elaborate formal attire. The council chamber itself took Miller's breath away. A vast circular room with a soaring ceiling showed a real-time map of the galaxy, stars twinkling above their heads. 7 alien council members sat in elevated seats, looking down at the human delegation. "Welcome, representatives of Earth," spoke the head counselor, his crystalline body shimmering as he moved. "We have watched your species' progress with great interest." Miller stepped forward to deliver his carefully prepared speech. But at that exact moment, his communicator burst to life with an emergency signal. "Ambassador." The voice belonged to General Robert Hayes back on Earth. "We're under attack. Multiple alien ships have appeared in orbit. They're targeting major cities." The transmission cut off with a burst of static. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Miller spun to face the council members, his face pale, but his voice strong. "What is the meaning of this? We came here in peace." The crystalline head counselor rose, but another council member, a tall metallic being, spoke first. "Your species has proven too adaptable, too quick to advance. The council voted. Earth must be contained before you become a threat." "This is an act of war," Miller declared, his hands clenched into fists. Security forces began to enter the chamber. Captain Brown's voice crackled through Miller's communicator. "Ambassador, the Star Voyager is ready for emergency extraction. We need to leave now." Miller and his team ran. Behind them, alien guards fired strange weapons that left scorch marks on the walls. They'd reached the ship just as more security forces converged on the docking bay. Through the ship's windows, they watched in horror as more council warships emerged from faster-than-light travel near the station. The massive vessels were heading straight for Earth. "Get us home," Miller ordered, his voice tight with controlled anger. "Our people need to know what's happening." The Star Voyager raced back to Earth, pushing its experimental engines to their limits, but they were too late to prevent the first wave of attacks. As they approached their home planet, they saw the devastating results of the Council's betrayal. Major cities around the globe had been hit with precision strikes. Sydney's famous harbor was filled with smoke. New York's skyline showed massive gaps where buildings had stood that morning. London burned. But the aliens had made a crucial mistake. They had aimed to cripple humanity's leadership and military capabilities with their first strike. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. Even as Miller's ship descended toward the emergency command center in the Rocky Mountains, he could see the response beginning. Military bases that the aliens hadn't known about were mobilizing. Underground facilities were activating. And in every nation, humans were doing what they did best, adapting and preparing to fight back. "They think they know what humanity is capable of," Miller said, watching fighter jets scramble into the darkening sky. "They think they've seen our limits during their surveillance." He turned to look at his team, his eyes hard with determination. "But they have no idea what happens when humans are backed into a corner. They want to contain us. They're about to learn why that's impossible." The Star Voyager landed as the sun set behind the mountains. The first day of war with the Galactic Council was ending, but humanity's story was just beginning. Admiral Kate Wilson stood in the underground command center, studying the holographic display of Earth's devastated cities. 3 days had passed since the Galactic Council's surprise attack, but something wasn't adding up. "Show me the attack pattern again," she ordered. The computer replayed the alien strikes, red dots appearing across the globe. They hit our major cities, but missed key military installations. Why? Dr. Tom Reed, their lead scientist, rushed into the room clutching a tablet. His normally neat lab coat was wrinkled from 3 days without sleep. "Admiral, you need to see this. We found something in the debris." The holographic display changed to show microscopic images of the alien weapon fragments. "Their weapons didn't just destroy our buildings," Dr. Reed explained, his eyes bright with excitement. "They left behind tiny pieces of their technology. It's like they didn't even try to hide it, or they didn't think we could understand it." Admiral Wilson replied, her mind racing with possibilities. "How quickly can you analyze it?" "That's the amazing part." Dr. Reed pulled up more data. "These fragments are practically teaching us how they work. It's as if they're designed to be easily understood. The Council must have used them to control other species, give them just enough technology to be useful, but not enough to be a threat." Admiral Wilson smiled for the first time since the attack. "But they don't know humans very well, do they?" Over the next few days, humanity showed why it was dangerous to underestimate them. While the Council's ships patrolled Earth's orbit, believing they had crippled human civilization, underground facilities buzzed with activity. In a hidden lab beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Reed and his team worked around the clock. They didn't just study the alien technology. They improved it. "Look at this," he told Admiral Wilson, holding up a modified weapon. Their energy weapons were efficient, but they didn't account for human creativity. "We've already made them 30% more powerful." Reports began flowing in from around the world. The Council's attack had failed to destroy Earth's spirit. Instead, it had united humanity like never before. Former enemies shared resources and information. Underground networks connected survivors. Every laboratory and workshop became a center of resistance. They thought they were being clever. Admiral Wilson told the Emergency Council of World Leaders. "They showed us just enough of their technology to intimidate us. But they didn't realize that humans don't just copy, we innovate." The meeting took place in a reinforced bunker deep underground. On screens around the room, leaders from every major nation nodded in agreement. The attack had erased old rivalries. Now there was only Earth against the Council. "Our orbital sensors show they're getting comfortable," reported General Hayes, pointing to satellite data. "The Council ships are settling into predictable patterns. They think we're beaten." "Good," Admiral Wilson replied. "Let them think that. Meanwhile, every piece of their technology they dropped on us is teaching us how to fight back." "Dr. Reed, how long until the first prototype?" Dr. Reed stepped forward. 2 weeks. Maybe less. We've discovered something they never expected. Human DNA interfaces better with their technology than their own species do. It's like their weapons were made for us to improve them." Admiral Wilson turned to the assembled leaders. "The Council thinks they've contained us. They believe humans are just another species to dominate. But they've made 3 serious mistakes. First, they didn't kill us all. Second, they gave us their technology. And third," she smiled grimly, "they made us angry." The world leaders voted unanimously. The Earth Defense Coalition was born, uniting all military and scientific resources under one banner. As the meeting ended, Admiral Wilson looked at the latest satellite images of the Council ships orbiting above. "Enjoy your victory," she whispered. "You have no idea what's coming." In labs and bunkers across the planet, humanity prepared for war. Not a war of blind revenge, but a carefully planned retaliation that would show the galaxy exactly what humans were capable of. The Council had tried to cage humanity. Instead, They had given them wings. Dr. Tom Reed stared at the test results in amazement. The holographic display showed 2 DNA strands side by side. One human, one alien. What he saw could change everything. "Admiral Wilson," he called out, his voice echoing through the underground lab. "You need to see this immediately." Admiral Kate Wilson arrived minutes later, still reviewing battle reports on her tablet. "This better be good, Doctor. The Council ships just destroyed another of our decoy bases. Look at this," Dr. Reed pointed to the DNA comparison. "We've been asking the wrong question. We kept wondering why their technology was so easy for us to understand. But that's not the real mystery." He highlighted several sections of the DNA strands. "The real question is, why does their tech work better for us than it does for them?" The Admiral leaned closer, her eyes narrowing. "Explain." "Human DNA has something unique, a certain pattern that makes us incredibly adaptable." Dr. Reed pulled up more data. "When we interface with their technology, our brains process the information faster, more efficiently. It's like we were meant to use it." In the next room, a team of engineers was testing the latest prototype. They had taken a Council energy weapon and rebuilt it from the ground up. The original alien design glowed with a pale blue light. The human version pulsed with brilliant white energy, twice as powerful and half the size. "Show me everything," Admiral Wilson ordered. Over the next hour, Dr. Reed revealed test after test. Humans weren't just copying the alien technology. They were perfecting it. Every piece of Council tech they studied became more efficient in human hands. Their ships, their weapons, their shields, we can improve all of it, Dr. Reed explained. But here's the best part. They have no idea. Their scans show us using primitive technology because that's all we're letting them see. Admiral Wilson smiled. "And our real advances, hidden in shielded facilities across the planet. We've developed a way to mask our energy signatures. As far as the Council knows, we're still a beaten species, barely surviving." The Admiral's tablet beeped with an incoming message. "Speaking of surprises, it's time you saw our biggest project." She led Dr. Reed to a massive blast door marked Project Phoenix. The door opened to reveal an enormous underground hangar. Inside, hundreds of workers swarmed around a ship unlike anything Earth had ever built. It combined human innovation with enhanced Council technology, its sleek hull gleaming under the bright lights. "Beautiful, isn't she?" Admiral Wilson said proudly. "The first of our new fleet. Faster than their ships, stronger shields, better weapons, and completely invisible to their sensors." Dr. Reed walked around the vessel in awe. "How many can we build?" "We have 10 more under construction in facilities around the world. The Council thinks they're watching us carefully, but their own arrogance blinds them. They're so convinced of their superiority that they aren't looking for signs of resistance." A young engineer ran up to them, holding a datapad. "Admiral, we finished the final tests on the neural interface. It's working better than we hoped. Human pilots can connect with the ship's systems at a level the Council never achieved." "Perfect." Admiral Wilson turned to Dr. Reed. "How long until we can begin major production of the improved weapons?" 2 days for the smaller arms, a week for the heavy weapons. The best part is, we're learning more every day. The more we study their tech, the better we get at improving it." Admiral Wilson nodded, watching workers install the ship's main weapons. "The Council thought they could break us. Instead, they gave us exactly what we needed to fight back. Keep working, Doctor. Soon we'll show them what humanity can really do." As she left the hangar, the Admiral's tablet showed another report of Council ships destroying a decoy target. "Let them waste their time," she thought. "Let them think they're winning. The real war hasn't even started yet." Ambassador James Miller bowed his head in apparent submission before the Galactic Council. "Earth accepts your terms of surrender," he said, his voice carefully measured to sound defeated. "We only ask for basic supplies to help our surviving population." The crystalline head counselor's body flickered with satisfaction. Your request is granted. Perhaps now your species understands its proper place in the galaxy." As Miller left the council chamber, he allowed himself a small smile. They had no idea that the basic supplies would be studied and improved upon, just like everything else they'd given Earth. Back on Earth, deep beneath the Australian outback, Admiral Wilson watched the diplomatic feed. "He's playing his part perfectly," she said to Commander Mark Evans, who stood beside her reviewing combat readiness reports. "The council's getting sloppy," Evans noted. "Their patrol patterns are becoming routine. They're starting to skip detailed scans of our primitive power stations." "Those primitive stations are hiding our newest weapons factories," Wilson replied. "How's the fleet coming along?" Evans brought up a secure holographic display. 15 ships completed, another 20 nearly ready. All crews trained on the enhanced systems. The neural interfaces work better than we ever hoped. The display showed vast underground hangars across the planet. In each one, ships that combined human ingenuity with improved council technology waited in darkness. Their hulls were painted with a special coating that absorbed scanning beams, making them invisible to alien sensors. And the ground forces. Ready. Evans pulled up another display. The new battle suits are incredible. They take everything good about council armor and add human flexibility. One soldier in our armor can outfight 10 of theirs. Through another secure channel, Dr. Reed's voice joined the conversation. "Admiral, we've just tested the latest version of the shield breakers. The Council's defensive systems won't know what hit them." Wilson nodded with satisfaction. "Perfect. And our decoy program?" "Still working beautifully," Evans confirmed. "We make sure they find a secret resistance base every few days. Just enough old technology and outdated weapons to keep them convinced we're struggling to fight back with primitive tools." The Admiral pulled up a map showing Council ship positions around Earth. Their patrol patterns have become predictable, their scans less thorough. They truly believed they had conquered humanity. "Status report from all facilities," she ordered. The reports came in one by one, text scrolling across secure screens. North American Production Hub, 98% complete. European Defense Network, fully operational. Asian Shield Generator Array, online. African Weapons Complex, ready for action. South American Training Centers, all crews prepared. "It's almost time," Wilson said, studying the readiness reports. "Have our spies in the Council reported any suspicions?" "None," Evans replied. "Ambassador Miller's performance has them completely fooled. They think Earth is broken, just struggling to survive. The Council's arrogance is their weakness. They can't imagine that we could advance this quickly." A technician rushed in with a new report. "Admiral, we just intercepted Council communications. They're reducing their orbital patrol fleet by 30%. They're calling it a peace dividend since Earth has been so cooperative." Wilson's smile was predatory. "Excellent. They're making this almost too easy. Notify all commands. We accelerate the timeline. I want every ship and soldier ready for action in 3 days." As the orders went out through secure channels, humanity's hidden forces stirred to life. In underground bases, pilots ran final checks on their ships. Soldiers tested their advanced armor. Scientists made last-minute improvements to weapons. On the surface, Earth still looked defeated. Damaged cities were rebuilt slowly, using old technology. Humans went about their lives appearing subdued and conquered. The Council's ships passed overhead, their crews bored and complacent. None of them noticed that humanity's greatest deception was almost complete. The hunter was about to become the hunted. "All ships, final status check." Commander Mark Evans ordered from the bridge of the Phoenix *, Earth's new flagship. Hidden in a massive underground launch bay, 20 advanced warships powered up their engines. "Remember," Admiral Wilson's voice came through on the secure channel. "Timing is everything. The Council's main fleet is 3 hours away at their fastest speed. We have that long to take their primary military base. The target was the Council's largest military installation, a massive space station orbiting a gas giant in the Rigel system. The Council thought it was completely safe, protected by powerful shields and a defensive fleet. They were about to learn how wrong they were. "All ships report ready," Evans announced. The underground bay doors opened silently above them. "Launch in 3, 2, 1. 20 ships lifted off as one, their enhanced engines barely making the sound. The Council's orbital patrol ships passed overhead, their sensors showing nothing but empty desert below. Humanity's greatest deception was about to end. "Jump in 10 seconds, Evans ordered. The new human modified faster-than-light drives hummed to life. "Remember your training. We've practiced this 100 times. Today we just do it for real." The ships vanished in flashes of light, moving faster than any Council vessel could travel. They reappeared near the gas giant, behind one of its moons, completely invisible to the station's sensors. "First wave, launch fighters," Evans commanded. Smaller craft poured from the larger ships, each one piloted by a human connected directly to their ship's systems through the neural interface. "Second wave, prepare shield breakers." The Council station loomed ahead, its defenses still dormant. They had no idea what was coming. "Execute primary attack plan," Evans ordered. "Show them what humanity can do." The fighters struck first, moving so fast the station's tracking systems couldn't lock onto them. Enhanced weapons fire cut through the outer defensive screen like it wasn't there. The Council ships scrambled to respond, but they were too slow, too confused by the appearance of technology they thought impossible. "Shield breakers, fire." Beams of energy struck the station's main shields. The Council's unbreakable defense system shattered in seconds, improved human technology overwhelming their outdated systems. Inside the station, alarms blared. The Council commanders couldn't believe their sensors. The ships attacking them showed power readings far beyond anything they had ever seen, and there were hundreds of them now, appearing from behind moons and asteroids, a fleet that shouldn't exist. "Main attack force, move in," Evans ordered. The larger ships emerged from hiding, their weapons already firing. Council ships exploded under the assault, their shields useless against humanity's enhanced technology. "They're trying to send a distress signal," reported Evans' communications officer. "Let them," Evans replied with a grim smile. "I want the Council to see exactly what's happening." The battle was shockingly brief. Council ships either surrendered or were destroyed. The station's commanders, faced with weapons that could cut through their strongest defenses, had no choice but to give up. Commander Evans led the boarding party himself. Council soldiers stared in shock at the advanced battle armor the humans wore, far superior to their own. In the station's control room, the alien commander trembled. "Impossible," the alien said. "You were primitive, defeated." "No," Evans replied. "We were patient. We learned. We improved. And now we're going to take back our freedom." Admiral Wilson's voice came through on the command channel. "Status report. Primary objective secured," Evans answered. "Casualties minimal. We've captured their command codes, defense plans, everything. And their main fleet is still hours away." "Excellent." Wilson's satisfaction was clear in her voice. "Begin Phase 2. Let's show the galaxy what happens when you underestimate humanity." As his troops secured the station, Evans looked out at the gas giant's swirling clouds. The Council had thought humans were just another species to conquer and control. Instead, they had created their own worst nightmare, a humanity that was now stronger than they ever imagined possible. Ambassador James Miller walked into the Galactic Council chamber, but this time he didn't bow. The room was in chaos. Council members argued loudly, their voices echoing off the high ceiling. News of humanity's victory at the military station had spread fast. "How dare you hide such weapons?" shouted the metallic being who had supported the attack on Earth. "This is proof humans cannot be trusted." "Proof." Miller's voice cut through the noise. Proof of what? That we defended ourselves. That we survived your unprovoked attack. He stepped to the center of the chamber. Or are you just angry that we did it better than you expected? The crystalline head counselor's surface flickered with agitation. The council demands to know how humans advanced so quickly. It's impossible. Nothing is impossible for humans when we're fighting for survival, Miller replied. He activated a holographic display showing Earth's new fleet in action. We took your basic technology and improved it. Something you thought we were too primitive to do. A new voice spoke up. The speaker was one of the smaller council races, a being with blue scales and bright eyes. Perhaps we were wrong about humans. Wrong. Another council member, one who looked like a tall tree, moved forward. They're dangerous. Look what they did to our strongest military base. What you did, Miller corrected, was give us no choice. You attacked us without warning, tried to enslave us, thought you could control us. He looked around the chamber. But some of you know what that feels like, don't you? How many races here have suffered under council guidance? The room grew quiet. Several council members looked away, while others nodded slowly. The Trading Federation withdraws from the council's military alliance, announced the blue-scale being. We choose to align with Earth. The Science Collective also withdraws, said another member, their tentacles waving. Humans have shown incredible innovation. We wish to learn from them. One by one, more members began to break away from the council's aggressive faction. The head counselor watched helplessly as their power crumbled. Admiral Wilson's voice came through Miller's secure earpiece. Perfect timing. Commander Evans just took another council base in the Orion sector. Minimal resistance. 3 more species have asked for our protection. Miller allowed himself a small smile. The council faces a choice, he announced. Continue this pointless war, or accept that humanity is now a major power in the galaxy. You would destroy everything we built. The metallic being rage. No, Miller replied calmly. We're going to build something better. A true alliance, not an empire. Already, dozens of worlds have seen what humanity can do. Not just in fighting, but in improving technology, in innovation, in adaptation. On screens around the chamber, more reports came in. Earth's fleet was systematically dismantling the Council's military power. But instead of destroying their enemies, humans were offering them a choice. Join a new alliance, or stay with the old Council. The Medical Confederation stands with Earth, declared another member. Their improvements to our healing technology have saved millions of lives. The Mining Collective joins as well, said a rocky-skinned being. Humans have already shown us ways to improve our extraction methods. The crystalline head counselor's glow had dimmed significantly. You planned this. We planned to survive, Miller corrected. You forced us to become stronger. Now we're offering to share that strength, to help others grow instead of controlling them. Outside the chamber, ships from Earth's new allies were already gathering. The galaxy was changing, power shifting away from the old Council toward a new alliance led by humanity. Your choice is simple, Miller told the remaining Council loyalists. Join us in building a better future, or fade into history. Either way, humanity will never be chained again. The chamber erupted in discussion once more, but this time it wasn't angry shouting. Species that had been dominated by the Council for centuries were finally seeing a path to true independence and growth. And at the center of it all stood humanity, no longer the primitive newcomers, but the leaders of a galactic revolution. The massive Earth ship Phoenix moved into position above the Council's capital world. Commander Mark Evans stood on the bridge, watching as ships from 20 different alien species formed up alongside them. In just 3 weeks, humanity had gone from seemingly defeated victims to leaders of the largest alliance the galaxy had ever seen. Final transmission from the hostile faction, reported his communications officer. They're still demanding we surrender. Evans shared a look with Admiral Wilson, who stood beside him. Should we show them our latest upgrade? He asked with a slight smile. Wilson nodded. Dr. Reed, you're up. On the main screen, Dr. Reed appeared from his lab on Earth. Watch this, he said proudly. Remember how well humans interfaced with their technology? Well, we just figured out how to share that ability with our allies. The Allied ships suddenly lit up with new energy signatures. The human-developed neural interfaces had been modified to work with other species, making their ships just as powerful as Earth's fleet. Hostile Council ships detected, announced the tactical officer. They're launching everything they have. Let them come, Wilson ordered. Show the galaxy what real cooperation looks like. The battle that followed was brief but spectacular. The remaining Council loyalists found themselves facing not just Earth's advanced technology, but the combined might of every species they had ever tried to control. Ships that had once been easy prey for Council weapons now moved with human-like efficiency, their crews connected to their vessels in ways the Council had never imagined possible. Ambassador Miller's voice came through on the command channel. The Council chamber is in chaos. The last holdouts are realizing they've lost everything. The hostile factions' ships began surrendering one by one. Their weapons, once thought to be the most powerful in the galaxy, had been completely outmatched by human improvements shared with their allies. We're receiving a priority message, reported the communications officer. The head counselor is asking to speak with Earth's leaders. On the main screen, the crystalline being appeared, its glow now dim and unstable. How? It asked simply. How did you advance so quickly? Admiral Wilson stepped forward. You gave us no choice. You attacked us, thinking we would break. Instead, you forced us to become stronger. But unlike you, we chose to share our strength with others. The Council has stood for 10,000 years, and now it will be replaced by something better, Miller replied, joining the conversation from the Council chamber. A true alliance, where every species can grow and develop without fear of being controlled. The head counselor's glow flickered one last time before going dark. We surrender. Cheers erupted across the Allied fleet. Species that had lived in fear of the Council for centuries were finally free. But humanity's work wasn't done. 1 month later, representatives from over 50 species gathered in a new chamber, built in orbit around Earth. The old Council chamber had been dismantled, its pieces used to create something new. The Galactic Alliance headquarters. Admiral Wilson, Commander Evans, Dr. Reed, and Ambassador Miller stood together, watching as their former enemies and new allies took their seats as equals. Hard to believe it's only been 4 months since they first attacked Earth, Evans said quietly. They thought they were containing a threat, Miller replied. Instead, they sparked a revolution. Dr. Reed smiled as he watched alien scientists examining human improvements to their technology. We didn't just beat them. We showed them a better way. Admiral Wilson nodded. That's what humans do best. We adapt, we improve, and we share what we learn. The Council tried to keep species weak and dependent. We're teaching them to be strong and independent. The chamber fell quiet as Miller stepped forward to address the gathered species. Today marks a new chapter in galactic history, he began. 4 months ago, Earth was attacked because the Council feared what humanity might become. They were right to be afraid, not because we were a threat, but because we represented change. He gestured to the assembled representatives. Look around you. Every species here has already begun to advance faster than the Council ever allowed. Together, we'll explore the galaxy, improve our technology, and face whatever challenges await us, not as masters and servants, but as equals. The chamber erupted in applause. Outside, Earth's sun rose over the planet's horizon, casting light on the ships of 50 different species flying together in formation. The Council's attempt to contain humanity had failed completely. Instead, they had helped create something far greater, a galaxy united not by fear, but by hope and innovation. Humanity had not just survived. They had changed the galaxy.